Thank you, sir. We'll move on to the next phase. We have a couple of questions from the audience for you.
Yeah.
Why are the alternate schools not asked for exams and boards? And then why the mainstream parents are so scared of the boards, they want to keep their children in?
Yeah, okay. I will answer to this question with a particular point that this is a very subjective question, and answer also can be very subjective. I can explain my personal opinion. It may not be an opinion of everybody. See, alternate education alternate schools are schools which are not following all these traditional system, but they do a lot of things in integrating philosophies, education, and everything. And very often in alternate school system, examinations and marks and grades are not a basic yardstick of measuring anything. In a way, holistically, it is good because your percentage and grades are not going to represent, what you are. Most of the leaders, let it be in technology, science, politics, if you look at them, they were not the best percentage, the best students of the school time. So in that way, alternate schools has got its own system, which is completely informal. At the same time, it is very effective. So there is not much of a pressure, and there is not much of a stress on education, on examination, which is very positive thing. But if you look at the mainstream parents, as I mentioned it, we are a country of 130 crore plus. The problem of unpredictability, the problem of employment in the country, the problem of how to face the life after school haunts most of the parents. And education is most of the people think education is an opportunity to come up in life. It's an economic opportunity. It's an opportunity for people to move up in life. So for that, the percentage of marks directly or indirectly comes into consideration. If you look at the higher education, admissions, if you look at various other positioning placements, these board results do have an importance. So large number of parents who are very traditional, I don't blame them. I can also be traditional person. Because of a prevailing socio-economic condition in our country, everybody wants to get their children settled as early as possible. Because every year the competition is increasing. Every year it's not sure whether the opportunity is going to increase. Sometimes it will decrease. So in that condition, people are a bit scared because of the prevailing social economic situation, so that the examination marks are very important. The grades are very important because that is a yardstick for them to move on to the next level of life. It's a mindset, and it may change with national education policy in the years to come, but it needs to be addressed. And I don't see anything wrong in alternate school system where the education itself has its own beauty, and in an informal way people are learning. When you learn something to understand, when you learn not for exams and grades, in fact the learning become more effective. If you really ask me, that's most
Right.
important method of learning. Okay. For example, if you look at it, I'll give you one example. If you look at the great architecture, great temple culture, etc. in India, if you go to a place called Madurai Meenakshi Temple in Madurai, such a massive, architecture, and those people who worked in that, worked for that beautiful piece of, work, they're not mechanical engineer, chemical engineer. They're not the people who have come with the formal system. They are the people who learned from one system. They learned without textbook, without examination, without any specific such end-term program. But still, how beautifully they manage such a beautiful structure. Still, it's a masterpiece of the past. All right. So to cut it short, it's a mindset. It needs to be changed. I hope this NEP also may impact in changing that mindset.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're very right. In most of our traditional schools, we
Yeah.
only teach to test.
Yeah.
Until unless we come out of this teach to test scenario, learning will be very, very limited for children. I've seen kids getting the best of marks, and if they come out of the examination hall and you ask them, what did you write? They'll say, I've written, don't worry, I don't remember what I wrote. So if the learning ends with the examination sheet and it is not used anywhere, I think somewhere our system is failing. Yeah.
And it
So
brings a lot of stress also. If you're not getting that level, it brings
yeah.
a lot of stress. What do you think these suicidal tendencies among the children? This is the main reason to a large extent our society is also responsible for.
Yes, because there's too much stress and it's too competitive. It's made to look like only a competition and not something which has to be assimilated and applied in life. It's more like to vomit it on the answer sheet and period. All right. We move on to the next question. What should be done to uplift the area where technical education is least?
Yeah, see, technology is a cutting edge in education or any other field. And if you go back to India's technological development for the past 10 to 20 years, it is very tremendous. We have made a lot of progress, but yet, looking at the length and breadth of the country, uh, with varied topographical, geographical features, still it is not completely up to that level of covering the entire country. So it is something on a large scale with the government needs to address. We as an educationist, what we can do is just like a simple policy, the good schools, good educational institutions, they can have a small hub and they can help and support small little village schools or some other schools in their neighborhood to support and help them. Of course, education at the end of it is paying back to the society. It is not that myself and myself and myself. It is also giving back, paying back. So, on an individual level, on a social and community process, we as schools can help and support the schools which are in and around our area, help the underprivileged children, that we can do. But on a wider aspects, if you look at the country as a whole, it's a big challenge for the government because, as I mentioned it, India lives in different centuries. It's not easy to put them in one particular platform. Bigger infrastructure, better technological awareness need to be introduced. But again, we cannot shy away from our responsibility. We can put in the best we can, whatever little we can. We can support the neighborhood schools. We can also provide certain facilities. We can also help those underprivileged kids in our own way, and we can make our impact in a little way. On a larger spectrum, this needs to be addressed on a national level. And it's not just implementing technical system and need constant upgradation, updating, maintenance. It's a massive infrastructure work. We have our own limitation as individual schools and individual leaders in our own areas. But again, let's take our responsibility of supporting our neighborhood and people in and in our community, in our area, in our district, in our taluk. We can do it.
Perfect. I can give an example here when I was heading one of the Ryan International Schools in Gurgaon, and I'm talking about 20 plus years back, and Gurgaon was not what it is today. So we had kind of shared our labs with around 6 government schools around in the vicinity. We would, there were days which were allotted when we wouldn't give any period to our own students in the lab, and labs were to be used only by those 6 schools in the vicinity. So I think each one of us need to contribute to this cause, as Mr. Prabhakaran said, by just saying that it's not this, not help. Let us all extend our helping hand wherever we are in a privileged situation by sharing the resources and making optimum utilization of the resources.
Thank you. Thank you for noting that, because for us it's very easy to sit here and communicate in an electronic screen. It should be done, but we have to come out of our comfort zone and we have to do it. Practically, we have to do it. Then only the answer to this question sounds better, isn't it?
Right. Thank you so much. So we move on to the last question of the day. How do we teach holistic education in the current times?
It's a very interesting question. I must tell you honestly, this has taught us a really good holistic examples. Tell me, did we ever thought of an interacting in a session like this? No. What is life all about? Life is full of unpredictabilities. Life is full of uncertainties. Nothing can be planned, sorted out, put in a schedule and system. It has to be fine-tuned time to time. Updating, evolving, adapting is a part of life. So this COVID-19 has taught us a big lesson. What is it all about? You prepare for next 5 years of educational plan. There, you can't even think of whether your school is going to reopen tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You can't even take a decision what's going to happen next week. Look at how the situation has put us. Isn't it an education? Isn't it that we, educators, our children should learn this is how it is? We always talk about we are preparing our children for tomorrow. We are preparing our children to be like this. To be like what? We don't even know what is tomorrow. We don't even know how is the world going to be 10 years down the line. The most of the job opportunities which are available right now were never there 25 years back when I was moving out of the college and universities. Now, our children are now studying in class 10th, 11th and 12th. 10 years later, do we have any idea what job, what will be the job market like? So here, how do we teach holistic education to our current times? Prepare our children to face any type of uncertainties in their life. Technically, I can give you an answer. This electronic platform can be used for knowledge, information, discussion, debate, dramatics, etc. Since there is limitation in social with the social distancing, so many other things, we cannot do any sporting activities, but we can do many other things. All right. Again, is it healthy to sit in front of this screen 8 hours in a day, 7 hours in a day, 6 hours in a day? Is it good for us? So again, this has got its limitation, but again, we have evolved it. We are using all these facilities at the moment because we are adapting it. These facilities, whether it is online or it was there before also. It is not that, see, for the past 6 months in technology and science, nothing new has invented so far. Still, we are searching for the COVID vaccine. That research is going on. Otherwise, in technology, I don't say anything new has come up. All these facilities were there, but now we started using it. This is how the human being has got amazing ability to adapt and evolve. So holistic education, if you really ask me, we are already into it. Knowingly, unknowingly, holistically, we are adapting, evolving, we are changing, and we are finding answer to different questions in the time of uncertainty. It will continue. It has got nothing to do with whether you have an iPad or a Mac, whether you have various other high-tech facilities in your home. No. Biggest aspect of education is prepare them to face uncertainties in life, make decisions, don't give up. Life is worth living. Let us carry on with it. And that's what holistic education is all about.
True. All right. I think I'd like to share another example for the second question for the benefit of all of us here. So in our school, we charge 50 rupees a month over and above the tuition fee from our parents. And we have around 4,000 plus students. So
4,000 is a good number.
Yeah. So I'm not talking about COVID times. It's before that. So moment our children leave at around 2:30, there's another set of children who come. There are some of them who go to a government school in the morning, right? And there are some who are for the migrant labor. They're not going to any other school. So we already have the infrastructure, tabla, sitar, sarangi, rooms, computers. We have everything in our infrastructure. And after 2:30, it lies unutilized. So these, we get initially we had to really struggle for the numbers, but today we have around 400 students who come after school at 2:30, and they have a regular school kind of a thing. In those 4 hours, we leave them around 6:30. We give them a nice snack also from that money that we collect from the parents. So 2 teachers from the mainstream, 2 teachers from co-curricular activities, they stay back from our main school. So their turn comes almost once in a month. Plus they have their own staff. The salaries are managed out of these 50 rupees that we get, right? And these children are right from soft skills to a tailor-made curriculum for them. It is as per their chronological age that we go. We do not go as per the grades. And 400 children attend our school in the evening. So I think we, as educators, need to think of innovative ways of, bringing in education to a larger community. We, as Mr. Prabhakaran said, we are a very diverse and a very huge country. So even if we will, our effort may be like a drop in the ocean, but let us all put that little drop, and maybe we'll do the needful.